All right, y'all. We got mom finds daughter's dismembered body in her shed. Now we about to get right into this, but before we get into it, if y'all want to watch this video without my commentary, head over to Insanity Body Cam, or you can search this title up right here. You'll be right there to the video. But if you're here to watch my reaction, shout out to you. Appreciate you for tuning in. And without further ado, let's hop right into it.
Hi, Patricia. Sergeant Ramsey, Liverpool Township.
You helped your buddy with possibly help move a body.
That's
I
crazy.
have a search warrant to search in the shed.
Police are at a residence where, just days earlier, a mother of three had mysteriously disappeared. And one day later, the police department received a chilling call. A man claiming he'd been forced to dismember a body and get rid of it.
And he said that he shot her. Yeah. And he couldn't get the body out of the house and into the shed.
How does somebody force you to do that, though? He held you at gunpoint and told you to do it? Did you look like a grown man to me? I know you ain't say, man, do this shit. I'm gonna beat you up. Like, if he said some shit like that, and you still went and did it, you low-key a bitch. I ain't gonna cap, bro. Now, if he held you at gunpoint, it might be a little different. Because if he done that to her, you 9 times out of 10 gonna do to you, bro. So, it makes sense. But if a little hand-to-hand combat was mentioned, yeah, I would have just had a fold buddy. Maybe that.
So at that point, once he drug her over to the steps and the carpet rolled up in the carpet, what happened at that point? He said he killed everybody. He left everybody in the house numerous times.
It's December 17th around 6 p.m. Tiffany Morrison, a 34-year-old mother, is arriving at her mother-in-law's home where she, her husband, and their 3 children have been living. Before going inside, Tiffany records a short video saying goodbye to a man she's been having an affair with. She doesn't know it yet, but this will be the last recording of her alive.
Damn.
I'm done. It's over. We're done talking.
After recording this, she walks inside, greets her 3 children sitting by the Christmas tree, walks upstairs, and disappears. The next time Tiffany would be seen, she would be in 6 different beds across East Liverpool.
Damn.
What makes Tiffany's case so unsettling is that it unfolded at the moment no one expected. For 17 years, Tiffany had built a life and raised a family with her high school sweetheart, Christopher Morrison. They met back at East Liverpool Senior High at just 17 years old, and from the outside, their world looked stable, ordinary even. But Tiffany had a secret. In the months leading up to her disappearance, Tiffany had begun an affair with a local man named Jake Hill. The only real piece of evidence investigators had was the video Tiffany recorded just before she walked into her home for the...
That's the crazy part about relationships, man. Like, just imagine you locking in with somebody for that long. You definitely know that person. Technically, these two, they grew together. Like, they known each other from teens all the way up to now. 17 years is a long time. You know this person. Like, it's like a routine at this point. You grow with somebody that long just for them to step out. Like, that's gonna make this man fully crash, especially because there's gonna be temptations. But as a grown woman, grown man, don't fall for that. That's literally the devil right there. Don't fall for the temptations. Especially when you got something solid. You got a good, loving, I don't know him personally, so I can't say that's what he is. He's a loving, caring person, But if your home wasn't broke, there's no need for you to destroy it. Like, that's crazy. And then you know what you're doing is wrong. You could have just left him. That would have been easier. Just leave. Like.
Last time, in it, she said goodbye to Jake.
I'm done. It's over. We're done talking.
She had decided to end the affair and recommit herself fully to repairing her relationship with her husband and children. At a first glance, this made Jake appear as a clear suspect, but detectives had no way of knowing that the affair was merely the surface. Only a fragment of the disturbing case that the affair was merely the surface. Only a
That might just be the picture. But I ain't gonna cap. I thought she had a black eye.
Fragment of the disturbing case that was about to come to light. On December 20th at 6:49 a.m., 3 days after Tiffany's disappearance, 911 receives a disturbing call. Thomas Slager, the father of Randy Slager, reports that he believes his son may have helped move a deceased body in the days prior. Both Thomas and his son are asked to come to the station to discuss the matter further. They have no idea yet, but this suspicion will unravel into something far darker than they could have imagined. A dismembered body with a violent killer still out in the public, pushing investigators towards a single, risky move. They'll have to stage one perfect moment to take him down. But at this point, police have made no connection to Tiffany's disappearance whatsoever. But this is about to change.
Talk, switch me seats, bro. So let's start with how you were contacted, when you were contacted.
But 2 days, so I don't really remember times great. But
roughly, ballpark.
I got called and he said he needed me.
When did you get called, Red?
That night, so it was Sunday night.
He called you Sunday night itself, right?
7.
Randy says the call came in around 7 p.m. that Sunday evening. A friend needed a favor. He said he needed someone to drive his car. It was the same night Tiffany recorded that video. The one where she said goodbye to her lover, Jake Hill, and committed to staying with her husband, Christopher. Naturally, detectives saw Jake Hill as the obvious suspect, but the man asking Randy for help that night wasn't Jake Hill, as investigators had expected. Instead, Randy would reveal it was someone even closer to Tiffany. It was Christopher Morrison, Tiffany's husband.
But that makes
At this
sense.
point, officers
So you must have found out about that video.
knew 3 things. First, Tiffany had made the decision to leave Jake behind and return to Christopher. Second, she had vanished without a trace. And third, on that very same night, Christopher had reached out to Randy asking for help to move something. None of it made sense. If Tiffany had finally decided to come back to Christopher, why would that be the night he killed her? Why not one of the countless other nights when she had actually been unfaithful? Investigators realized there had to be a missing piece, something they weren't seeing. And that's when Randy revealed something even darker.
Okay, what did he discuss with you at 7
He
o'clock?
asked me if I could do him a favor, a ride, or not give him a ride, drive a different car while he dribbles other car to his lights. What kind of house? Jimmy Bill, I guess.
Okay, then where's Jake Hill?
I don't know. I've never met the guy. Couldn't see him.
For the first time, Jake Hill is officially mentioned. Christopher had apparently gone even further with his plan. According to Randy, Chris asked him to help hide a body, while Chris would be, quote, dropping off his girlfriend at her new boyfriend's house. If Randy's story was true, it pointed to one chilling possibility. Chris was trying to frame Jake Hill for the murder. While all of this was already more than enough to alarm investigators, Randy revealed that he knew even more about what had happened. He told officers that he had actually gone to Chris's house that night and that he could describe the disturbing things he found inside.
But once you got to Shady Side, what happened?
We walked in the house and all the kids were there and mom were sitting there and we talked, just randomly about stuff there. And Chris said,
When you walked down the basement, he was just wanting to get back.
Tiffany wanting to leave him.
Okay, Tiffany wanted to leave him? And she just left me, and then somehow, and I guess, I don't know, as I wasn't there for none of this stuff. Somehow she was back at the house, and she was there at the house at some point. That's where each put that bullet hole in the shower curtain, where we shower. I shut in the bullet hole.
Randy explained that,
Damn.
quote, Tiffany was somehow back at the house. We, of course, now know the reason why. She had finally decided to move back in with Chris, and that one detail makes everything that followed even more tragic. Randy said he tried to calm Chris down, urging him to go to the police. But instead of listening, Chris escalated the situation and began showing Randy photos of Tiffany's dead body.
When I got downstairs, he looked at me and he started crying. He started telling me that Tiffany and we're fighting. She was leaving for some dude that sent me some dick pics or something. And that he shot her.
That's
I couldn't believe that. And he whipped his gun out, slashed the photo, and I took it away. He couldn't get the body out of the house and into the shed. Now I tried to talk to him with telling him I was stupid. I told him he was an idiot. He should probably turn himself in, all that, but none of it, nothing. I mean, I couldn't convince him to do anything. He wanted to, he asked me to help him roll up into the carpet, and I didn't know do that.
Well, all of this was gruesome, and more than enough to justify bringing in Chris for questioning. One detail stood out to detectives: the messages between Chris and Jake. If they could get access to those conversations, it might help them establish a clearer motive for Chris. So over the next few days, investigators began digging deeper into his life, and what they uncovered only further darkened an already disturbing case.
Yeah, I just know you're not trying to compare yourself to another man. That is weird. Like, that is, man. Two straight men? Y'all really having that conversation?
By tracking Chris's license plate in the days leading up to Tiffany's disappearance, detectives traced him to one particular store. On December 15th, just 2 days before Tiffany's disappearance, Chris is caught on surveillance at the Harbor Freight on 4130 Mall Drive in Steubenville. There, he purchased two things: a Hercules reciprocating saw and 12 brand new blades. At the time, this wasn't enough to prove anything on its own, but this simple receipt would later become crucial to the investigation. Next were the conversations between Jake and Chris. While it's unclear how officers obtained them, it's obvious these messages played a significant role in shaping the case. It turned out Tiffany's affair with Jake wasn't a secret at all. In the weeks before she disappeared, Chris and Jake had been messaging each other regularly on social media, with Jake frequently taunting him. He sent Chris explicit photos of Tiffany, pictures of his own genitals, and graphic depictions of their sexual encounters. All of this created an unmistakably strong motive for Chris to
I'm about to say, of course he about to off buddy. You getting real disrespectful. I mean, he didn't off him, but he was gonna do her that way because at the end of the day, he did this in the manner of, I'm not saying it should be done like this, but you know how the guy will approach the other guy. The other guy don't owe you no loyalty, bro. They ain't your, especially if it ain't your homie. Hey, your girl free game. If she giving it up, right? He gonna go. Shit, it is what it is. But for you to, you ain't have to do her like that. I'm not gonna cap. Just leave her. Go get another woman or something. And I get it. Love, man, love could get you killed. And that's a saying that's real, like clearly in this situation. Bro felt like that was the best thing he could do. Especially seeing these videos, pictures, and all this other. Of course. That shit gonna have you, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, bro. See your girl get hit by and he sent you the video. Like, he disrespected you at that point, bro. You gotta see him too. Fuck that.
Act out violently, and with that in mind, investigators prepared to arrest Chris and bring him in for interrogation. But what they couldn't have predicted was that the arrest would turn out to be a complete disaster, because Chris had no intentions of going to prison. Before they could even get to that point, though, detectives still faced one final problem. They had no clear timeline of Tiffany's final night, no detailed account of what happened before she vanished. They understood what happened between Randy and Chris, and they knew the weeks of tension that led up to it. But the events of that particular Sunday were still a troubling mystery. That is, until they heard a disturbing recollection from someone very close to him. Chris's own mother, the only witness in the home that Sunday evening aside from Chris's own children. At the time, she hadn't suspected a thing, but with everything detectives now knew, it was obvious the warning signs had been there all along, and those signs become unnervingly clear when she describes what Chris was doing that evening.
I do remember going downstairs in the basement yesterday to get a bag.
Okay.
I was gonna do laundry, but when I asked the kids to get their clothes together, he'd said, Mom, you do enough. We'll take care of the clothes. He did not want me in the basement for some reason. And he had been hanging down there, and then she was down there with him. Well, what I thought. I mean, as far as I know, she was with him. And she did come upstairs Sunday night, or was it Monday? She did come up, and I was standing there at the Christmas tree, and she come flying past me, and you know, she was having an affair with this guy, so I figured she was hanging down there from embarrassment. Shame. You know, I grabbed a hold of her, and I kissed her on the side of the face, and I told her I loved her. You know, and she says, I love you too.
Chris had stopped his own mother from going down to the basement, where he and Tiffany had apparently been staying. She recalled that it was obvious Tiffany felt embarrassed about her unfaithfulness, which only makes what
Which is crazy that the mother loved you.
even more tragic. But what she said next shifted things from tragic to deeply problematic. She told detectives she believed her own son might have been planning to kill himself.
See, when all this was going down yesterday, I thought maybe he killed himself. That's what I was thinking, but couldn't make sense to me that his vehicle wasn't there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, why are they in shame? You know? And that's, you know, but then, I mean, this is just all so much.
While this was sad and certainly worrisome, it wasn't true. Chris wasn't dead, he was alive and well, and his time on the run needed to come to an end. At this point, the East Liverpool Police Department had one final thing to take care of before moving in to arrest Chris, executing the search warrant on the shed behind his house, the place where Tiffany's body was allegedly being kept. And once officers opened that door, they would discover everything.
Hi, Patricia. Sergeant Ramsey, Liverpool Township. I have a search warrant to search shed. So this is a copy of the search warrant. Officer Talbot, Kenan, and myself, we're going to go up. We're going to look around. The search warrant is for anything not your house, any of the outlining buildings or any of the currently
No problem with any of that.
and house of kids.
Right now, they're with the other grandma. The services were this morning, and they, you know, the viewing, you know, there's no viewing. What? It is. It's very horrible. I mean, I'm sick to my stomach. I want to burn the shed down as soon as possible. I want to know when I can do that.
It's all still part of evidence, so our prosecutor would be able to answer that, but we'll be talking again soon.
I don't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? I found all kinds of knives in here. I took all those out of the bedroom, and I think I'm just gonna store them in the garage.
Okay.
I don't know what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look like hell, but I can't open
Your
up.
son's had me up every morning at 4 o'clock. So. Sad.
Sick. And I gotta still live here, you know what I mean?
I get it. I get it.
It's just
Let us
sick.
get done what we need to do. Is it all right? Call you Kay?
Okay.
And we'll give you a copy of the inventory when we're done.
All right. I'm not really worried about the inventory.
Well, we have to get it. I mean, Chief Howard.
Inside the cabin, officers made a horrifying discovery. They found the saw Chris had purchased earlier, multiple knives, other weapons scattered around, and then the final nail in the coffin, Tiffany's body, cut into pieces and placed into 6 separate bags. At that moment, investigators knew they finally had all the evidence they needed. With this new information, detectives knew it was finally time to move in and arrest Chris. But before they could act, one major red flag stopped everything. Members of the Special Response Team had flagged a disturbing statement Chris had allegedly made. He had warned that if police ever came after him, he would, quote, kill everyone. This was taken extremely seriously, so instead of rushing in, officers developed a careful, tactical plan to get Chris away from his house and into custody safely.
We got somebody today, supposedly he killed his wife. She's out back, so we've been working the search warrant, we just got it. We wanted to get him out of the house because he was going to kill all the kids and stuff.
The plan was straightforward. Investigators would use Randy, the man who had originally helped Chris dispose of the body, to lure Chris to a specific address under the pretense of picking Randy up. Uniformed units would be staged nearby. Because Chris was armed and had a history of violent threats, officers settled on a tactical ruse, a routine traffic stop. Their goal was simple: get him in handcuffs before he realized what was actually happening, then transport him to the station for questioning. On December 20th at 6:09 p.m., the call came in. Chris was en route to the pickup location. Given his previous threats to kill law enforcement, the officer knew he had to move in with extreme caution and stick to the operation exactly as planned.
What's the plate numbers?
I don't know the plate number on this.
I got the Jeep here. You yell, give me some help. Right here in front of his house.
All right.
All right.
9 for 90
How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you doing?
You have your license, registration, proof of insurance with you?
Street in
I'm in county. What do you do there? Oh, that's your handgun thing.
I'm trying to see which one of these is good. Oh, gosh. Can I open that door and get
Yeah. You got your firearm on you?
Yes, sir.
Where's it at?
It's on my belt line.
It's on your belt line?
Yeah.
Hey, do me a favor so we're all safe. Just step out for a second.
Sure.
Keep your hands on your head because I don't want shot or anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Go and turn around here. Just hold tight. I'm just going to place you in cuffs just until I grab your gun, okay?
What's going on?
What? We got a call complaint down here. I'm just following up on it. He asked me to come down, help out.
I just pulled up to my buddies. I was supposed to pick him up.
You supposed to pick up your buddy?
Yeah.
Who you picking up?
Randy Swagger?
I don't know who that is.
Huh.
The plan had worked. Chris was now safely in cuffs.
Dummy. Got baited in. I mean, it's a good thing they got him. But I'm just saying, if you talking about, if you on a run, you should find everything suspicious. I don't know why you would fall for that. Especially the person that helped you do whatever. You knew the police was on it, your trail.
Didn't even know why, but judging by his stressed expression and tense posture, he likely realized that detectives were finally onto him.
Right.
Despite this, he would keep playing clueless.
Good.
I have 121. Also have firearm, and he is detained.
I don't understand what the problem is, sir.
What? Come right back here. Sure. Huh?
All right, step back here. Why am I stuck in here? And what is all this?
You all right?
Yeah.
We got somebody today. Supposedly he killed his wife. She's out back. So we've been working on a search warrant. We just got it. We wanted to get him out of the house because he was going to kill all the kids and stuff. Supposedly he killed his wife. So he got away. We coaxed him out to come get somebody.
All right, hey, I got
Long story short, with everything's going on, we didn't want him you know, coming in shooting, so it was exit circumstances to get him.
No, sure.
I mean, I yelled for you as soon as I found out he was here.
Yeah. Well,
But I wasn't going to take the chance of him taking the gun and going.
no, for sure.
Because he's already threatened.
The officers had done everything they needed at the scene, and now it was time to take Chris to the station. But Chris still had no idea that this wasn't a simple traffic stop, but an arrest for the murder and dismemberment of his own wife.
So you're aware of what's going on. You have some gentlemen at the station want to talk to you.
Okay.
So you're being detained and taken back to the Liverpool Township Police Department, okay?
Okay.
At that point, they'll talk to you and let you know what's going on.
Can you guys roll my windows up for me?
Your car is getting towed to our station where you're going, and it's going to be put in the Sally Port where it's heated or whatever until they're done talking to you, okay?
Okay. First, you don't mind, I don't know what I'm doing.
They'll explain all of that when you get there, okay?
Okay.
Chris is now on his way to the station, and he still hasn't been told that this is about his wife. In his mind, detectives might have brought him in for nothing more than a traffic issue, something he can still talk his way out of. But then, almost as if the guilt is pressing down on him, or as if he's trying to misdirect detectives, Chris suddenly, and without being prompted, starts talking about his wife.
Hey, I'm Chief Kinnaman for Liverpool Township Police Department. I got to ask you before we go, are you willing to talk to us?
I guess it depends on what it's about.
All right, well, you can stop at any time if you decide you want to talk to the attorney.
A Jeep's in my name, right?
What's that?
Jeep's in mine. It's a dual ownership, right?
Yeah, I didn't run the Jeep yet. I don't know what's going on. Why do you say that? Who might it belong to?
Because I'm thinking, like, did my wife say that my Jeep was stolen?
This moment is critical. This detective has been on the case since Tiffany disappeared, and he knows exactly.
He just started telling on himself. That's that conscience, you know. The guilty conscience. Shit, eating him alive.
Who Chris's wife is, but if he acts like he recognizes her name, their entire cover story, the traffic violation, collapses. And the moment Chris realizes what's really going on, he might stop talking altogether. Fortunately, the detective handles it perfectly.
Who's your wife?
Tiffany Morrison.
Tiffany Morrison. What, you guys going through a separation, or?
I guess.
You guess?
I guess.
What do you mean you guess? You guys haven't talked in a while, or?
I've talked to her a couple of days. About a week ago, she took off on me. She was gone for 2 days. She didn't talk to me. She barely talked to me. She wouldn't text me back. We had to work together, so we went to work together. And then I talked to her there. I talked her into coming back home. Came back home. We were trying to work things out, or so I thought. Turns out she changed her mind again, and she took off again.
Here, the detective sees an opportunity. The goal is to slowly shift the conversation to Tiffany and gather any details that might further incriminate Chris. So the detective decides to apply a bit of pressure, and it works. Chris is starting to look genuinely worried.
So when's the last time you saw her? How many of you guys are?
Would have been last night.
Last night?
Last night we argued, and she said she was going back up to see her boyfriend, and I said, okay. I said, but you're not taking my vehicles. I said, so if you're leaving, then let him, the guy who has no car, come down an hour away from where he lives and pick you up. She's like, no, I'm taking my keys and I'm leaving. I said, no, listen. I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take you there. Pick a spot, I'll drop you off close, you can figure it out from there. And she says, okay. So we started down a hill, we started into an argument. I kicked her out of my Jeep, and that was it.
Here, Chris thinks he's giving them a solid alibi, but the detectives already have a dismembered body in the shed he locked, and 2 witnesses who say he's responsible. They don't need anything more, but they still want to hear why he did all of this. Over the next 20 minutes, Chris breaks down their entire relationship, how it began, how things turned dark, and everything leading up to Tiffany's disappearance. However, due to YouTube's guidelines, we can't show the full thing here. If you're interested, the full video with the extended interview is available on Patreon for just $5 a month. Towards the end, Chris finally realizes what the detectives are doing, and he asks for an attorney, effectively ending the interview. Because he was armed, dangerous, unstable, and considered a flight risk, he would be held on a $1.5 million bond while awaiting indictment. And due to the overwhelming evidence, the body, Randy's statement, motive revealed through text messages with Jake Hill, the receipt for the saw, and his threats towards his family and law enforcement, detectives had everything they needed. Chris is ultimately charged with aggravated murder, tampering with evidence, gross abuse of a corpse, possession of criminal tools, and firearm specifications. He is sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
As he should be. Now, it's okay to be hurt. You got your wife, cheating on you and stuff like that. But to go out your way and harm her and dismember her body, or you're sick. There's plenty of women out here. You can move on. You ain't have to do her like that. Now you don't ruin your life. Now your kids don't have neither one of their parents. That's what. Let their mom. You could have just let her be. She was clearly trying to, whatever made her step out, she realized, this ain't worth it. Let me fix my relationship with my husband. She tried to do that. She was trying, or going to try. And you just ended everything, so. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below.